I am doing the self-portrait challenge. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. This was a challenge set by another YouTuber. I believe his name is Skew. I'm gonna look up what his name is. I have no idea what his name is actually. I'm literally so scared to talk about other YouTubers in my videos because what if they're cancelled and I don't know about it? Everyone's cancelled. Are they not? I'm cancelled. Am I? His name is Slew with an L, not a K. Clearly I'm not an avid fan, but I did see his self-portrait video. He's a cool guy, it's a cool video.
Calling out all the artists I watch on YouTube, Smo, Doke, Kipto, 1000, Panko. It's open to everyone. And the challenge is 6-day self-portrait, a new self-portrait every single day. And, to practice and improve and, get experience, we're going to use a different palette every single day and also a different facial expression.
So the challenge is set, painting every single day for a week. I am so out of practice with my oil painting and particularly portraits. I haven't painted a portrait for ages, let alone a self-portrait. I haven't painted a self-portrait for years. Another problem is I don't really want 6 portraits of myself, so some of these I might make a little bit more abstract. Salou actually did them all very similar, very the same. However, I want to practice different styles. I do want to do oil paint. So I'm going to do oil on canvas for every single portrait. For the first portrait, I want to do a Van Gogh inspired piece. This is the drawing, the under drawing. I thought that this photo had a similar energy, a similar expression to Van Gogh's self-portrait that he did, where he's holding his paint, but I'm holding my spray paint mask. Let's paint! So the first one, Van Gogh, it was very blue painting. I wanted to do a different colour for each of my portraits, so I had a kind of rainbow of self-portraits by the end of this. And yeah, I noticed that Van Gogh used a lot of blue within the skin tones as well, so I had to go at trying to replicate this style, like especially under the eyes and the kind of cheek areas. And I had a go at doing that as well. It looked kind of like I was ill. I was a bit sickly green. But yeah, I was just trying to replicate Van Gogh's look for his own self-portrait. Also, I was trying to copy the way that he does all the separate brush strokes, especially for the background of this. I don't know whether I really achieved it very well. But you know what, this was my first painting and I wasn't expecting to be able to paint like Van Gogh by the end of it. In fact, if I was to guess, it probably took Vincent quite a few years to get this exact style together, unless he just kind of like came out the womb and started painting like that. I'll be surprised. But anyway, let's talk about Van Gogh, let's talk about Vincent. Van Gogh actually only ever sold one painting during his lifetime, which went for about 400 francs in Belgium 7 months before he died. I don't know how much 400 francs is, let me just... Okay, Google is telling me that right now 400 Belgian francs is about £8.42. I mean, it's a start. Right, I think I'm finished with this portrait. This definitely turned out better than I expected. I thought my first self-portrait was going to be awful since I haven't painted a self-portrait for many years. And I'm not counting the Microsoft Paint self-portrait that I did in my last video. That doesn't count. So yeah, success, I suppose. The forehead is large, I will say that. I would like to also say that whilst painting this portrait, I discovered a new electronica artist, a musician. Her name is LCY. Some of the most chaotic music I've ever heard. I'm gonna make a little playlist just to give you an example of the kind of stuff I listen to whilst I paint. Defo, the type of music that Van Gogh would rip his own ear off to. With that being said, on to the next portrait. For the next portrait, I went for a red themed piece, and the artist that inspired this one was called Amrita Sher-Gil. She was born in January 1913 in Budapest. So she lived in Paris for a bit in the 1930s, and I really wanted to kind of try and replicate this style. It seems kind of experimental in the forms. So I was trying to do a kind of geometric type pattern. My reference for this image was a picture that I took on a rooftop. Also, I'm currently watching this series called Grace and Frankie, which isn't a new series whatsoever, but I'm so into it. I love Frankie so much. And yeah, I wanted to play around with the windows, kind of blurring into each other and blurring into my hair. It didn't really work out the way that I planned, but this was only my second portrait.
Scares the shit out of me. I didn't mean to scare you.
For the next portrait, I went for a Jenny Savile inspired piece. I actually used to study Jenny Savile as an artist when I was in college doing A-levels, like age 16 or something. I really enjoy the way she paints. It's like kind of chaotic. It's almost bloody, like the colours she uses. I think she studies a lot of surgery patients in her paintings. And yeah, I just loved making mistakes within the paint and then working it into the different shapes in my face. I had so much fun with this one. Update time. Time for an update. It is Tuesday. I did spend a small amount of time trying to fix this second portrait that I did. So I went in and I basically just warmed up the reds. I redid the sky colours. Just tried to add a little bit more depth, to be honest. This is the piece I did yesterday. I'm really happy with this piece. Probably my favourite one so far. I want to paint like this more often. On to the next one. This one has a pigeon on it. It's hard to see in this light. This is going to be a Frida Kahlo inspired portrait. We all know who Frida is, a legend and an icon. Her self-portrait had a flower crown on and I have a pigeon. So that's the connection between the two head objects. This pigeon is actually a reoccurring character in my life. His name is Beef, and I'm happy that I now get to immortalize him in a physical medium. The Frida Kahlo one, I went for a green scheme here, using leaves and foliage in the background. Yeah, I definitely went to red with the skin tones in this. I don't know what happened. I think I was trying too hard to be perfect with all the shapes and forms in this one, and it just didn't work out. After doing the Jenny Savile piece, I didn't enjoy doing this one at all. Okay, update. I actually acquired some sunglasses during the process of this being painted. And it's come to my attention that these are my new and updated prescription, and I can see better out of these than my normal glasses. So I'm just gonna keep these on. Anyways, progress on this piece. You know what? I'm not overly happy with the direction that this has taken. I do need to fix the hairline and I need to finish the pigeon. It's a bit red. The skin is a bit orangey red, though I do feel like the green background is bringing out the orange reds in the skin and making it contrast even more. Also, I still can't paint lips. I just can't do it. Maybe it's my lips. Maybe it's a me thing. However, I had so much fun painting the pigeon for this one. Yeah, I really enjoyed painting my little pigeon friend. Got quite a nice reflection in the eye there. However, really messed up on my own eyes somehow. My next piece was inspired by Egon Schiele, one of my favourite artists ever. He was born in 1890 in Austria. He was a protege of the famous artist Gustav Klimt, who painted The Kiss. He did quite a few self-portraits and he very much focused on the form of the body. He often painted portraits of himself and people in kind of angular positions, which are kind of funny, but yeah, I really enjoyed studying him as well. I love how he paints such raw colours in the skin tones. So I tried to replicate that in my own and then just emphasised all the undertones in my skin, like the cheeks and the dark circles. Wait, was that like a reflection? That was like a little light reflection, that was cool. Once the Egon piece was done, I wanted to do another blue schemed piece, but a different kind of blue. Actually, I've been working on my old pig painting. That's another reason why this video took so long. I just have been dabbling with working on that. Yeah, I kind of just painted this one at night and didn't film any of it, so my bad. But yeah, I think it came out okay. That's very close up. Ended up working on this one, absolutely butchering it with some gold paint. The quote that I put on here was kind of inspired by Willow, the artist, because I was listening to a lot of her music. I'm blue, double-dee, double-die. Wow. It has been well over a week since I filmed anything. I'm not gonna lie, I've just been living my life. We've had some sunny weather here in the United Kingdom. Yeah, I painted more portraits, of course, since this is the portrait challenge. It's literally been so long since I filmed, I have kind of forgotten the vibe of this video. But anyway, this is one. I didn't film painting this one because I pretty much just didn't want to. This was on an old canvas that was already blue that I used gouache on, and then I painted over the gouache with acrylic, and then I painted over the acrylic with oils. I'm actually unsure why I did that, but it worked out. But yeah, it gave the whole painting a kind of like translucent effect and just blended really well for some reason. Like the blue came through the skin colors. I mean, it's far from perfect. I haven't even got a neck in this painting, but like you don't really need a neck, you know? Do you? Does anyone really look at a neck in a painting? Come on. All in all, I enjoyed this challenge. My portrait kind of style has improved significantly in my own eyes, even from painting 6 portraits. Honestly, I think this is my favorite. Also, I got that kind of like watery effect in the eyes, which I really enjoy. I wanted to have a go at painting the yellow glasses in my profile picture. To see if I could kind of like do that translucent effect. Also, the yellow in the glasses contrasts really nicely with that turquoise blue, and I put a bit of the yellow shadow here on the cheek, like the light shining through the glasses onto the skin. If you would like to commission a portrait from me, then I've put a commission listing on my Etsy, link below. I'm a real YouTuber. Oh my god. By the time I post this, it's gonna be over a month since my last video. I'm reluctant to apologize for living my life, but I am sorry that it takes me so long. I am doing 2 jobs, but I'm gonna keep trying. And yeah, if there's any particular videos that you want to see from me, leave a comment down below. Another thing. Okay, so for this one, this was the pigeon portrait, and okay, let me explain what happened here. I changed it a lot. The Frida Kahlo, I couldn't do it. I just didn't do it right. It didn't come out right. It looked wrong. So I ruined it. This is how it ended up. Interesting, right? Like, what is the moral of this story? Like, what are you gonna take away from this video? Even if you hate what you're making, keep trying and maybe you'll like something eventually. Like, as I was painting this piece, it just felt like a mistake, but now I'm happy with it. I hope that you have a lovely summer. Please don't expect any kind of schedule from me ever. And yeah, if you're still watching this right now, right here, then thank you. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.